Welcome back to Suns Latest. Thank you to Underdog Fantasy for sponsoring this video. Once again, huge shout out to Underdog Fantasy for sponsoring this video. As of this recording, we're about 1,360 Suns subscribers. You know the drill. If you sign up for Suns Latest on Fan Arch, you become a Sunscraper. You are off the bench. You are no longer a sub. And I thank you for that. I thank you for your comments because that is what makes this go. All right, so before we get to the game, here's the quote of the day. We're both a-holes. Rajon Rondo and why he gets along with DeMarcus Cousins. Now, these are two former guys that were all-stars. They were competitors, and like them or hate them, and a lot of people hated them, they got stuff done. And I think it's a real shame that DeMarcus Cousins got injured as bad as he did, because he was as talented as any big man I've ever seen. He also had a real bad temper and a real bad attitude towards team play. And I think that's a big reason why he didn't last as long. But I never had a problem with his playing style. I thought he was very, very effective. And I don't know what else you can say about Rajon Rondo, one of the most cerebral players I ever saw, smart as it gets, and did a lot on his own to make sure that he became this great, enduring player. How long did he play, and how effective was he for considering how long he played? And I think it's kind of cool and intelligent to admit that that is how you are, and it's okay. People with like minds find each other. That's kind of fun. All right, so let's get to the game. Before the game, the Suns were 21-14, and the Rockets were 21-11. I want you to just consider that. At this point in the season, we had the same amount of wins as the Rockets. The Rockets were supposed to challenge the Thunder and be better than everybody and be dominant, and they're not a whole lot better than us. I know we lost the game, but we almost won. And we just came off the biggest win of the season for the entire NBA. And then we had to fly to Houston and play them. So let's just put that into account. So at Toyota Center, Rockets are very good at home. They're 10-2. They're hard to beat at home anyway. We're 9-9 on the road. Again, everything is a blessing this year, so let's just take it. We're 7th in the West. Houston is 5th. Book and KD are averaging the same amount of points per game, 25.7 for them for the year so far. There's two other guys that have that same exact scoring average. Also, KD plays 2 more minutes a game than Devin Booker, FYI. Injuries, Alperen Sengun out with ankle injury. Steven Adams, Rocket center, who we have no answer for. Even though he's not an offensive powerhouse, we have no one to move him. Actually, no one in the league can really move him, but he was supposed to be out. He was listed as out, and he played. Fred VanVleet out for the season with a knee injury. We all know that. Injuries for the Suns, Bouye out with a concussion from a non-call on a freaking collision during Sunday's game. That was a big loss. That was a big loss last night. Mark Williams was supposed to be out with a knee issue. He played. Grayson was supposed to be out. Late addition. He played. Jalen Green still out. But the latest news is projected back by January 17th. That is from Coach Ott. So let's get to the game. Grayson Allen is back. Clearly bringing him back slowly. 10 minutes in the first half. Really rusty, but 6 first-half assists. Could not make a shot. Coach Ott kept encouraging him to shoot, and that is how you get a guy like Grayson Allen back on track. It was almost like watching RoboCop, and he goes, "Can you aim for me?" He just could not get his aim right. But we lead 60-54 at the half. Jordan Goodwin picking up where he left off against OKC, 4 for 4 and 3 for 3 from 3. 50% shooting from Royce in the first half as well. 4 for 7 shooting, 1 for 7 threes in the first half for Kevin Durant. 1 for 7 on threes for Kevin Durant against his former team. Also 13 minutes to Mark Williams, 9 minutes. Mark was listed out with a knee issue before the game, but he was starting. Oso with 9 points, 4 for 4 shooting, 3 rebounds, 7 boards from Mark. Could not get going offensively. He has issues against this Rockets front line, even with Sengun not in there. Only 2 points for him. Let's break it down to the end of the third. It's at 78-78. We're still hanging in there against a superior team. KD misses 2 more threes. He is now 1 for 9. Rockets up 85-80 with 9:15 left. 10 more rebounds for Houston at this point. That is something that Curious Mind 2525 pointed out. It happened with Cleveland. It's going to happen with a team like Houston. Guys, we got issues on the front line, and a lot of it has to do with our incredible center, Mark Williams. As I said, he cannot move people. He can get rebounds. He can get block shots. He can score. He cannot move anybody. And his defense is very good. It's not great. And I hope I'm not coming down too much on Mark, but we need a bigger body in there sometimes, especially against teams like Houston. Rockets start to pull away with 6 left. 94-87 doesn't look good. Book with a 26-footer with 3 left to go We get within one, 94-93, timeout Rockets. We're still competing after the hardest game of the year and the best game of the year the night before. Extended the lead, 95-94 on Brooks' fadeaway. We're up. 2:24 left. KD fouls Book. Book makes 2 free throws, 97-97. 2 minutes left, and then some very costly turnovers and a couple of costly missed shots, including from Booker. Both teams, but I think we missed like 3 shots in the last couple of minutes, and we needed at least one of them to stay in the game. 30 seconds left. Book misses a fadeaway. We get a rare offensive rebound, but we get a shot clock violation. This is what we were talking about the other night, where it's like we'll make a great play, and we really, really fought for some offensive rebounds, but timing, stepping out of bounds, that little type of things, turnovers, offensive foul, or foul immediately after a rebound. KD finally makes a 3. With like 0.03 left, 0.3 left. He finally makes a freaking 3. 197 Rockets. We call timeout. Book misses a last second shot. No miracle last night. Rockets escape from the Phoenix Suns. 197. We're getting better, and they're maintaining, if you haven't noticed. Grayson goes 0 for 6 and 0 for 4, but contributed 3 rebounds, 6 assists in 22 minutes, and we still almost won this game. Oso ends up with 8 rebounds, but does not score in the second half. We need Oso to assert himself a little bit more, especially when Mark Williams is ailing, and they're the only 2 centers we got. He's something needs to be put into his head at specific times, and I know Coach Ott will get to it. I'm sure he's mentioned it to him before. Oso needs to operate. 11 on 4 for 7 and 3 for 4 for Goody. 3 rebounds in 5 minutes for Rasheer Fleming, but he missed all of his shots. We missed Bouyer's energy and offense tonight. Good game for Royce. 15 on 5 for 12. He only shot 3. 6 rebounds, 3 assists, 0 turnovers. Book with 27 on 9 for 20 and 2 for 5 on threes. 3 assists, 4 turnovers. I have no complaints about Book. I don't care that he had some turnovers. He was getting tired and, once again, carrying the team pretty much. Again, scheduled on a back-to-back and a roadie against two of the best teams in the league, the best team in the league, and then a top 5 team in the league. And we still almost won. 6 rebounds, 4 assists, 11 points, and 4 for 11, and 3 for 9 from Colin Gillespie. Colin Gillespie's regular field goal percentage is hovering just below a comfort level for me. I hope for you too. 1 for 6 on threes for Brooks. 15 points on 7 for 15. 4 rebounds, 2 assists. Another steady game. Awesome defense from him. Good defense from Ryan Dunn as well. Horrible shooting numbers. 42, 34, and 75. I mean, you guys, we talked about the free throws. You got to, if we're at 85% free throws, we win this game. Really bad shooting all the way around. Only 10 turnovers, but this time our turnovers were timely. Bad timing on turnovers, unlike Sunday. Way it goes. I'm upset that we lost. I'm not upset at the team because we still almost won. We are at Memphis tomorrow, and we've already lost to them, so I think it's time that we beat Memphis. Don't you think? All right. So let's get to this. So we're at Memphis tomorrow. Before we get to your comments, I just want to point out from our 49-point Cup quarterfinal loss, our worst of the season and Suns history, to the OKC Thunder, to the win over the Thunder, the best game of the season. It was Devin Booker's 9th career go-ahead bucket in the final 5 seconds of the 4th quarter or overtime. Only DeMar DeRozan has 11, and he's the only guy with more since Book entered the league in 2015, 2016. Draymond Green was quoted as saying, "I don't care about anybody's opinion about who's better or who's worse. Devin Booker's an all-star, and he belongs in the all-star game." Thank you, Draymond. That was kind. That's showing some serious respect. All right, let's get to your comments. I don't know you. Phineas, 101. Such clickbait. Your channel is so lame. I went to Phineas' channel, his YouTube channel. No subscribers, 3 videos that he didn't create, and his only comment is about this channel, Sun's latest. Hey, Phineas, your channel is so lame. The Big C001. I know 2 of the names were the Scorpions. Oh, okay. So trivia from yesterday, and the answer today is, what were the other names considered, like seriously considered, before Colangelo picked and settled on the name Suns for our hometown team? The Big C001. I know 2 of the names were the Scorpions and the Rattlers because we had a couple of teams with those names. They mentioned somewhere that those were names considered for the team. Don't know another one, though. I'll guess the Cowboys. I don't think that one was one. Thunderbirds or Tumbleweeds for that third one. Okay, Brian Pevler. Oh, I remember you from yesterday. You had the friend who had passed away, and we gave him a shout out. Brian says, thanks for the shout out from my friend. You're very welcome. For the trivia, I seem to remember the tarantulas was one of the possibilities. I'd have to cheat for the others. Thank you for being honest. I wrote them all down. I wrote down the ones that I remembered, and then the ones that were actually official, where I scoured the internet for them. Right now, I'm brain farting on that. But we'll get to the trivia later, and we got a new trivia question which will blow your mind. But you are welcome. We're going to find out in a few. Carter Alexander, I don't remember you. Welcome to Suns Latest. Thank you for commenting. The Phoenix Suns are going to finish with at least the 5 seed in the playoff spot, and they'll be a really tough out. I agree that no matter who they play, they'll be a tough out. Even if we're going against the number 1 seed, we'll be a tough out. We are inching our way closer to that 5 spot. It's just going to be really tough to get past the 6th spot just because of who's in the West. We'd be what, number 3 or 4 already in the East? Confide 3333. Beautiful win. I know I've read one of your comments before. Welcome back. Beautiful win. Saw the interview with Colin Gillespie, Williams, Goody, and Dunn, and since then I had a feeling about Goody being next up for us. Then this game happens, talking about the Sunday win against the Oklahoma City Thunder. I'm starting to see and believe that this team has a chance. Go Suns. We play hard. We play as a team. It's that simple. Nico and Cisco. Hello, man. Goodwin kept us in that game last night, and Brooks made huge threes. Then homie closed the book. Yeah, Goody was left alone as OKC's defensive strategy, other than falling down and flopping, was to smother Booker and make Booker beat us, or not let Booker beat us, which is their philosophy, which is a lot of teams. That was the philosophy with Kobe forever. That was the philosophy to go against the Suns. Shut down Nash and the team won't go. Booker was the way to win. Booker found Goody over and over. We, as I mentioned earlier, play as a team. Simple as that. And Stacker, welcome back. I was watching the game all the way through. I seen the referees calling stupid calls, and then I said, here we go again. Then the Suns pulled it off, and they did not call a lot of BS calls at the end of the game. I was upset because they allowed the Thunder to flop a few times. We got the big W. Go Suns. Our team plays great tonight. Our team played great tonight. Great team effort. This is a team, guys. Fathers with young sons. Fathers with guys and daughters. Fathers with boys and daughters who want to play basketball and are liking watching the Suns. Please remind your kids that this team plays as a team. Yes, we have a superstar, but we play as a team. We are there for the other guy. Anonymous Rex, hello. At the beginning of the season, before a game was played, I had this team pegged for about 35 wins. That's fair. They are on pace to win 49, and they don't have Jalen Green or Grayson Allen on the floor. They had Grayson Allen last night, but he's been injured more than he's been on the floor this year. So if those two come back and we stay healthy, we could very well win 52 to 54 games. That is incredible. This has been like the whole thing with the possible trades. It's like, well, here's what we got to do. Yes, we're definitely getting rid of Nick Richards. Well, we should dump Royce and Grayson. And what about trading Jalen Green? It's like, look, we're doing really well without any of these guys. Now let's say Grayson and Jalen come back 100% healthy. We just beat the Thunder without them. Those guys come back. You remember how well Jalen just fit right in? Booker wants him back. He needs more rest. He's going to have to get more rest as the second half of the season approaches. Jalen Green is a 20-point per game scorer, and he can create his own shot. So instead of making trades, just have this guy come back, get healthy. It's almost like getting a 20-point scorer for nothing. That is my philosophy on it. AJ Chavez, great win, go Suns. Absolutely. Great win, go Suns. Not the Houston game, but the Rockets game. All right, so fast breaks, buzzer beaters, and block parties are back, and Underdog is the best place to get in on all the action. Playing on Underdog is easy. Just pick whether your favorite players will go higher or lower on stats like points, rebounds, steals, or more. Get your picks right, and you could win up to 5,000 times your cash this week on Underdog. I am looking at the game later today. The Cavs' Donovan Mitchell for higher than 30 points because he's been on a tear. And the Pacers' Pascal Siakam for lower than 20 because the Pacers are flailing. Download the app today and use promo code BasketballFan to score $75 in bonus entries when you play your first $5. That's promo code BasketballFan. Underdog. Make picks and then win money. Not a bad deal. All righty, let's get to some NBA news. Humble brag time. Last July, someone looking a lot like this guy said when the Lakers signed former Sun center DeAndre Ayton after the Blazers waived him, in other words, eating millions of dollars so he would not be on their team, and that Ayton would start off well. And I did say that. I said Ayton's probably going to start off really good for the Lakers. LeBron is out. Luka's really the only offense. Ayton can score and he can get to the basket. He might be doing 15 or 18 and 8 to start, and he did. He's going to sprinkle in a few 20-plus games and a couple of 10-rebound games, maybe a 15-rebound game. And he did. That happened. I said it was going to happen. It's exactly what happened. Then someone looking a lot like this guy said his production would trail off and he'd start watching the game while being in the game, and that after a while he might get pulled for Jackson Hayes because he wasn't paying attention or he was just standing around thinking he was in a video game. The guy he was brought in to replace, Jackson Hayes, completely ineffective center. And then he'd say something stupid during an interview, which he did. That happened. Then someone looking a lot like me said Laker coach J.J. Redick might make mention of how Ayton isn't as good when the season has started and that the Lakers would have to make some changes and maybe defend him a little bit, but also call him out a little bit. All those things have happened. Tune in after the All-Star break for more. DeAndre Ayton is a waste. Serious, this guy. Okay. And a little bit more of NBA news. ESPN still hates the Phoenix Suns. ESPN posted their midseason award predictions. Devin Booker snubbed for each of the All-NBA teams. So according to ESPN, Devin Booker is not a top 15 NBA player. He's only the second or third best shooting guard in the league, but he's not a top 15 NBA player. Alperen Şengün, who's injured. Jalen Johnson of the Hawks, who's having a good year, but he's not better than Devin Booker. Really? You trade him straight up? I would not. And Scotty Barnes having a good year. But they all make the third team ahead of Devin Booker. Kawhi Leonard is on the second team. Kawhi Leonard had one 50-something plus game. What else has he done this year? He's barely played this year. They have him on the second team. Profanity is really, it's right here. I'm not going to use it. Coach Ott is considered a long shot. Our first mention of a Suns player in the possible awards. They have like the lock, the possibilities, and then the long shot. Coach Ott is mentioned as a long shot. The team that was supposed to be a cellar dweller in the West is 7th and just beat the best team in the league, but he's a long shot for Coach of the Year. Completely new team. JB Bickerstaff is their favorite. His team went to the playoffs last year. He has a first-team All-Pro in Cade Cunningham, but he's Coach of the Year in the East. He's their pick. He's a great coach, but he's not doing better. He's not doing a better job than Coach Ott. ESPN wrote, quote, nobody has outperformed expectations this season more than the Suns. But naturally, that's a bit easier to do for them for a team that was in the lottery last year. Still, a Phoenix playoff berth would make Ott a strong contender, end quote. That's their explanation. Because we were so bad last year, we had nowhere to go but up. I'm going to go back and find these ESPN articles just absolutely ignoring and dismissing the possibility of the Suns being good at all this year. We had Kevin Durant and Bradley Beal last year. They're gone, and we're beating everybody. We beat the Spurs twice. We beat the Lakers twice. We just beat the Oklahoma City Thunder. We barely lost to the frickin' Rockets. This is absolutely maddening. Our lottery pick doesn't even play. Thank you very much. Colin Gillespie isn't even their top 5 of possible most improved picks. He is mentioned as one of the long shots for 6th man of the year, which means ESPN isn't even watching the Suns, as Gillespie has started just as much as he's come off the bench this year. No mention of Dillon Brooks for Defensive Player of the Year, not even as a long shot. But Amin Thompson of the Rockets for defense, really? Draymond Green and Scotty Barnes. I agree with Scotty Barnes. They all got mentioned for defensive play. Draymond Green got mentioned for Defensive Player of the Year over Dillon Brooks this year. Draymond Green. All right, I'm getting all loopy with this. All right, so let's get to your Monday trivia answer. Today is Tuesday, I know, but Monday was the trivia question. So before deciding on Suns, name 3 nicknames that were seriously being considered. There were more than 3, but I wanted to see if you could name 3. Thunderbirds, one of you named that. Wranglers. Remember, we had a USFL team called the Wranglers. We also had a USFL team called the Outlaws. I thought the Outlaws was a great name. Tumbleweeds. Y'all mentioned that. Rattlers. That was, the Rattlers were our Arena Football League team, right? I think that's right. Desert Cats, which I don't remember. Tarantulas. Brian mentioned that one. And Scorpions. Brian also mentioned that too, I think. So anyway, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's 7 of them. If you got 3 of them without cheating, That's pretty freaking cool. Really quick, we got our name from a local name. The team contest posted in the Republic in 68. Over 300 people picked Suns and sent in the entry as the Suns. But Phoenix resident Celinda King submitted the winning entry, and Jerry Colangelo not only picked it, read it, liked it, he had final say, and he said, yeah, we're going to be called the Suns. And that is how the Phoenix Suns got their name. Celinda King, I also found out, passed away in 2004. Rest in peace to the lady who named the Suns. Thank you very much for that. All right, Tuesday trivia. This one's impossible, but I have to do it. In 1974, the Suns drafted 4 guys, and they would all go on to play in the NBA. They were John Shoemate out of Notre Dame, I remember that. Earl Williams, who played for the Suns. Freddie Saunders, who played for the Suns. Who was the 4th guy? We drafted 4 guys in 74. Those were 3 of them. The 4th guy is significant because he was already playing in the ABA when he was drafted by the Suns. The NBA would just do that. They would just pick a guy and just go, yeah, I like him. I'm just going to draft him. Because at the time, actually the entire existence of the ABA, the NBA snubbed their noses at the ABA, which is really silly since, the 3-point shot came from the ABA. The dunk contest came from the ABA, and some Hall of Famers absolutely came from the ABA. Eventually, he would play in the NBA, but he never played for the Suns, which is a crying shame. He teamed up with Dr. J during his first 2 years in the ABA, but he's better known playing for another NBA team, which was also an ABA team. It's a lot to unpack. 4 draft choices in 74. Shoemate, Williams, Freddie Saunders. Who was the 4th? He was already playing in the ABA, and he teamed up with Dr. J during his first 2 years in the ABA. Who was that player? Thank you so much for watching Suns Latest. It was a bitch of a loss because we really had it. I think if we had had one more day of rest, or if we had a healthy Grayson Allen or a healthy Jalen Green and the Rockets were the Rockets, we would have gotten that game. And KD, you got lucky. Thank you so much for your comments. I have been Rich Rubin. This is Suns Latest. Sunscribe if you feel like it. If not, don't worry about it. Keep watching. Keep commenting. I appreciate you. Go Suns.